Hey folks, welcome back to Street Rust. We are still working on this F250. Take a look. We got everything cleaned up here. You can hear the dog outside. Apologize, folks, but that's my life. So anyway, we got everything ready to put this back together. Okay, let's go over just a quick update on cost. As you saw in the last F250 roadworthy video, we're at $963 total. I did return two rear brake lines that I didn't need because this doesn't have this has the hard line, not the soft line. Ordered those in error. The intake 90-degree fitting that went into the intake, wrong one. We bought it locally and added it over here. The brake shoes that were 2.5 inch did not work. We had to return those to Rock Auto, and I had some lug nuts that I were supposed to fit this, weren't even close. What we did do is we bought brake pads locally from O'Reilly, and I bought a brake line kit from Amazon. I'll show you why in a second. And we do have to order a couple things. We still need a coil and a rear end oil, some gear oil. Got the brake shoes locally at O'Reilly's. Guy didn't want me to leave. He said they were for front drums. I'm like, that'll work. Anyway, boy, those dogs are going nuts out there. What we've got to do, this is the rear hard brake line that comes from this banjo fitting that attaches to the rear end, and this is where your air breather line goes. So it connects here and runs over to the wheel cylinder. And so what I did, because it was cheaper, I think this is the zinc coated. This is a little better than just the non-zinc coated. But anyway, the whole kit was like 34 bucks. I didn't need this, but I needed this, I needed this, these fittings. And by the time you buy this separately and buy the fittings, you've already spent 34 bucks. So I just bought the whole kit. I can give these to Gabriel or something. So, because I've got quite a few of these. Here's my little, well, what's this stuff for? What's this stuff for? This is for making your flares. And you've got to make a double flare for these brake lines. If you just use this and this, for those of you that know what I'm talking about, you're going to make a flare that looks like that. That's not what you want. What you want, and I've already made one here, is you want a flare. This is what they call a double flare. Let me get that back on. There we go, double flare, right? That's what you want. In order to make that, you've got to have these little adapters, and I'm going to show you how to do this, okay? We're going to do it rather quickly here. Let's just go ahead and knock it out and do it. So I was going to show you something else, but I forgot. So no biggie. No biggie. So let's get in here. Yes, the Georgia-Texas game is on. And no, I can't watch it because I got to get this done. All right, so 3/16 fitting, 3/16 line. Okay, I've already put this one on. You've got to remember a little grace and mercy when you do the first one, because you can slip it on the end. Make sure it fits correctly. And then the second, when I say fits correctly, make sure it's not backwards. The threads go like to the top, okay? Hope you can see that. All right, we're gonna go ahead and slide this one on. Now, what you're gonna do, these are labeled, and you've got your sizes. You can see my 3/16 over here by my thumb, okay? You're going to put it in here, kind of like that. Now the question is, how far do you let that stick out when you're doing a double flare? Well, what they say, and let me get a pointer. It's in the instructions, but it's always kind of vague what they're talking about. So when you're making the double flare, this little piece here is going to go down into the actual line, okay, and help you make that flare. But you flip this upside down, and this first stair step here is how far you're supposed to let it stick out. That's what the instructions show. You can find several videos on YouTube that show the same thing. So what we're going to do, we're in the 3/16 hole. We are definitely in the 3/16 hole. How far do I want that to stick out? Well, I'm going to put this on here. I'll show you when I get it done here. Let me get it. Let me get it. Ooh, come on now. Work with me. That's a little too low. Sorry, folks. It just takes a little bit to get this. You want to get this right, so you get. You almost need 3 hands when you're doing this. Okay, let's back that down a little bit. Okay, that's too high. That's probably. You know what? That's a little too low. Just a hair. There we go. Let's see what we got there. Okay, we're going to take that. So what you're going to do is this is just like a vise, a clamp. Let me double check this before I make it super tight. Pretty dang close. Get this all tied up. All right, now I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so the height, how far up does this need to stick? It needs to be even with that bottom step on this dimple maker. So like I said, this is going to go into that hole, like so. Then you're going to take your other piece of this apparatus, we'll call it a press, and that is going to seat right down into that. Now, if you don't put this apparatus in there, I'll show you what will happen. That's where oh, it went right here. That's where you're going to make that kind of floor. Guess how I know? Because when I did it the first time, I forgot to put that little apparatus in there. And when you buy these online, these are all great and wonderful. They're cheap. I've got another set in there, but you've got to have a set of these, okay? Because these are the ones that help you make that double flaring kit. Matter of fact, we'll finish that up in a second. For those of you that know what a bubble flare is, like I like doing those for flare lines, I've got a bolt here that goes down in. I put the fuel line in here and goes in there. I just use this bolt. You can see that I've used it several times, and it makes a nice little bubble flare. So I'm gonna guess there's another tool for that. So, all right, so now what you're gonna do is you're just gonna feed it the onions here. And you're gonna know when to stop. You're gonna know when to stop. You're gonna feel it, like right there. Is it possible that that's already down? I guess so. Yeah, I think so. Let's take a look at it. I'll take a look at it. So let me finish this. You know, I get to talking about one thing and then my brain shifts to something else, and then I've got you all confused and you hit the thumbs down button. So I don't like that. I like it, but I don't. Yeah, it's okay. It's a little more pronounced on the other one, but I'm okay with that. All right, so here's that double flare right there you want, and just as a comparison, I keep throwing that thing up here. Come on now, what do I do with it right there? Just so you can see the difference. I want you to see the difference there between those two flares. This one is sharp edge. This one's kind of folds over on itself and makes a little bowl on there. Okay? All right. So, all right. That's that. Now this piece, which replaces this broken piece, I've already checked because I'm a rocket scientist. This feeds in. So to go from the wheel cylinder, and it will go across to this brake line, which you'll see, which attaches to the rear end. Now, everything here is 3/16 line. Okay, so you see how that all fits together fine. Okay. Now, then the other line for the other side, which is still in good shape, and I got it off, is fine. So don't be scared to do brake line. I've only done it a few times, to be honest with you, but here's the brake line. And oh, you know, this kit too, this kit came, I already have one of these, but this, for the $34, it also came with a bender, a 312 bender, a little cheap one. You can get them at Harbor Freight for $9.99. But like I said, by the time I bought the fittings and by the time I bought this, I was already spending, you know, 34 bucks, so I just bought everything. And plus in this kit, I've got different size fittings. I think I got 10 to the 3/8, which is pretty common for these older vehicles. But then I've got 2 3/16 splicers. If I ever have a broken line somewhere on the road, I can do a quick splice and repair that on the road, if there's enough room left in it. So I think that's about it on this. So that's all fairly simple. Don't let it scare you. You know, brakes are important. That's why we're doing it the right way. Okay. I don't have, you know, $1,000 tool. I know there's some fancy tools to do some of this. They don't cost $1,000. I'm embellishing, as my children say. But we're going to go ahead and I'm going to get set up over here, and we're going to go ahead and get the drum brakes put together. We're going to get the drum back on. Torque specs, your guess is as good as mine. I don't have a manual, and I've read, we'll talk about when we put it on, but I've read so many different torque specs that I'm tired of reading it. But I got a good range, okay? I think it's elbow tight. When my elbow pops, we should be good. So be back in just a second. We're gonna pop over here on the drum brakes. All righty, folks. Let's get this bad boy put together. So I got everything kind of laid out in reverse order of what I'm going to do here. I got a little bit of brake grease. I'm going to put a little bit on a couple of these contact points. Nothing major. Nothing major. Nothing major. Nothing lieutenant. Nothing captain. Y'all know what I mean? Probably put a little bit on here, a little bit on here, and then I'll probably just slap a little bit up here where the brake shoes hang. That ought to do it. It shouldn't take too much. All right. All right, let's get it on. All right. So we're going to put this center apparatus on first. And it's got a serrated pinned look right here. This is let me get a close up. Right here, that's serrated right there, so it kind of fits in. What do you call that? I don't know what it's called. I call it serrated. Y'all saw it. Get that kind of in there. Started in there. Then get back in there so you can get the nut started. I believe that's a 7/16. This is exciting, isn't it? I may or may not just speed this up and throw some music on. We'll see how it goes. Now that's kind of sucking that up into there. Whew. I think it's supposed to be that spring is jacked up in there, but there you go. It's about 60 foot-pounds. Yeah, I think that spring, you know what? That's for the emergency brake, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. All right, now wheel cylinder. As you saw previously in the video, we've made sure we've got our new line created for this. We made sure it fits, so I've made sure these bolts fit. And you know what? I was supposed to put this on first. Oh, looky there. Oh no. No, that ain't gonna work because then that's gotta come down. Maybe I can squeeze it in like that. Maybe I'll get lucky. Probably not. Oh yeah. Looky there. See if I can get it started. See if I can get her started. Good night. Boy, I'm starting off good here, folks. There we go. Get this one started in there. Oh, come now. It's supposed to be easy. I don't want to take that back off, but I will if I have to. All right. Good night. All right, let's try it again. Also on these wheel cylinders, what is it, a 3/8 connector for the brake line and your bleeder. The old ones would be a 3/8. New ones are 10mm bolts. Just keep that in mind or you'll wind up stripping everything out. What in the wide world of sports is going on here? That ain't no reason I can't fit in there. I just don't have it lined up. That's quite apparent. I'm right there. Just can't seem to get it done. There we go. Come on now. Come on now. All right. I'm gonna try the other side. Since I can't seem to get things right here. You know what? Come on now. Oh, I got that one started. Okay. And that shouldn't be a problem there. Okay. Let's get this one started, and that should be a lot closer to where it's supposed to be. Oh, magic. It's magic. All right. Done forgot what size those are. I think they're 7/16. We're fixing to find out. Of course not. They are 1/2 inch, something like that. You can see where I pressure wash with the wheels on. I obviously need to get this cleaned up on here. But that's for another spring day, if you know what I mean. Would help if I get it on the right bolt. All right, we're sticking with Crisco now. All right, that one's tight. That one's tight. All right, wheel cylinders are in. Now, let's start getting these brake pads in. Now these just kind of push them in there. They'll go. twist them, push them, whatever you gotta do. Make sure they're in there good. Alright, those are in there good. Alright, now brake shoes. So what we're gonna do, gotta look at my picture. Y'all remember, took a picture, and I also didn't tear apart the other side yet. Alright, this picture is gonna show me exactly where the spring goes and exactly how it should be oriented. My doohickers are already in here. I put those into the back, okay? So this is gonna go on here like here. Let's see, that's got to be coming like that. Alright, so that's gonna go right like that. And this is quite the good amount of fun to get all this lined up, but I found that if I hang these first, that I have more success. Now y'all gonna watch me suffer and bleed and all that kind of stuff. I just want to get this on here. Come on, man. You can do it. Come on. Oh, why's this gotta be such a extreme pain in the buttocks? All right, there we go. There we go. So that one's, now we gotta get it set up in there proper. Okay, all right. That's on, that's on. Emergency brake comes through there. Emergency brake hooks up here. All right, now we're gonna put the other side on like that. All right, we're still good. All right. Y'all probably falling asleep. This is pretty doggone exciting. I know. Where'd that spring go? All right, that spring has to go in here, in that bottom hole right there, like so. Same concept. We're gonna get her. Oh, I got it upside down. That ain't helping. That is not helping. Okay. You can see how it's starting to push on the emergency brake lever, which is what it's supposed to do. All right, there we go. And that one should be oriented the other way. There we go. Got the doohickers on and those springs, and we're able to get that up tight. Now, I took this apart. This is your self-automatic adjuster. I took that out as far as I could. I cleaned the threads, and then I lubed it up with some WD-40. Okay? So we want to get it all the way in. We'll talk about adjusting these later. And from the picture, you know, it lines up better, but I'm going to put it in the way it was in the picture. If I put that in, whoo, you know what, if I do it like this, it's a self-adjuster and it works by vibration, so it shouldn't matter which way it goes. But if I put it in here like this, which is opposite of the way it was when I took it out, this lines up perfectly with the hole. So that's the way I'm going to do it. And those tabs on the bottom are universal, so that's what we're going to do. All right, now this top spring is fun for the whole family, okay? And we want it oriented like this. Now, let's see. We're gonna have, oh, we gotta spread those out quite a bit still. All right. So that's gonna go into the middle slot here, and this one, I found it easier to use these big honking pliers to work on this stuff. it's not seated up in there. Let's see. Let's take a look at that. That's because these really doesn't matter. Okay, first it's got to be there. Those actually should be something a little prouder. What's going on here? I don't even know what that thing is. It's just hanging there. Seems to be on there. Oh, this fell out. I don't want to give this a lot of tension. I'm going to. Let me go ahead and open this up. Something's not right here. Oh, that's got to be down. Oh, that's got to be like that. That's right. All right, there we go. There we go. All right. Now, we'll see. We'll see. Now, I want to try to get this spring on here. It's getting hot here, folks. I think I had to put this on last. I don't know what I think. All I know is that doggone want this spring on. Oh, par for course, folks. This is getting ugly real quick. Oh. This is getting ugly real quick. Real quick, come on. All right, it's on. Top one's on. All right, now that's starting to line up a little better. Something's just not right. Okay. Now these shoes are exactly the same as the ones I took off. I made sure all that was good. You know what, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to put it on. Now I got to close it up as much as I can, because this is going to be tight because of that spring that we put on. Alright, there we go. Okay. That E-brake, I'll put it on in a minute. Now we've got a lower spring, which goes in this little hole here, and it attaches to the same hole over yonder. This one's not quite as tight. Not quite, but it's close. Does that look centered? It sure does. So here's my concern. Here's my concern. Let me get you in here and show you my concern. And then I'll So if you look in the picture, let me get a pointer here. If you look in the picture and you look at these little plunger levers here, you see how these are kind of oriented down? Don't like that. But everything seems to be seated okay. So let me get that part figured out and make sure we're good. And I'll be right back. All right, got it figured out. That's all straightened out. The bottom line is, this is the last piece that should go in. Once you notice I put that in first, and then things got pinned up and everything in that brake shoe. I could feel the distance in here and here, and it was slightly different over here. Took that out, got it lined up. Those are now the way they're supposed to be. The emergency brake is pushing the drums out. We're good. So hopefully, I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna back these pads off all the way. And I am not. All right, hope we got this battery thing fixed. Anyway, we're good here. So everything that I read is that the gear oil migrates up the axle and lubricates the bearings. And that would match everything that I'm seeing here. Okay, because these are not totally packed in grease and everything of that nature. But what I am going to do, I cleaned off the end of the drive shaft, which you can't see. It's up here above me. I put a little grease. I've got this black. This is a synthetic blend grease, disc brake, wheel bearings, chassis, suspension, universal joints, constant velocity, CV joints, yada, yada, yada. So I'm just going to give these bearings just a little whoop, and that's how we're going to do it. Okay, everything looks good. There was nothing that was leaking back here. So I am just going to put a little bit in here. You can't see what I'm doing. Okay, I just want to make sure we don't have any issues. Now, one thing I will tell you that I read, and I'll be doing this, is that number one, you need to have your all your gear oil full in there. Then when we get done, we're going to jack up one side of it and make the fluid run this way, and we'll jack up the other side, make it run that way, and just make sure that we've got good fluid in all of these. And we'll do that a couple times, kind of like rocking it back and forth to make sure that fluid's running down. That's what we're going to do. But as far as these bearings, there's no indication that they're packed. Everything that I read says that they're not packed. So I am just giving it a little bit of grease, which some people recommended, just to make sure that there's some lubrication until the gear oil gets up to it. Okay, done deal. If you know something different, put it in the comments down below. Would love to know. Okay, I don't have a shop manual on this vehicle. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Torque wrench, extension, brake adjuster. All right, we are going to set this drum back on, and then I went ahead and took the grinder and cleaned this up as well, so that the socket will fit over it. Then here's your keeper. Then of course the bearings go in, but then this goes on. This one, what they say is torque it down to 50 pounds. I'll feed it the onions a little bit, and then we'll back it off hand tight where there's no play. This one, once again, there's so many do it this way things out there, and I don't have the shop manual. I'm going to torque it down about 100 foot-pounds. Should be okay. All right, so that's what we're doing. Now on this keeper, you can see these tabs are bent over here. When I put that second nut in there, get it tightened, I'm going to bend these back over. That keeps everything from moving. All right, so here we go. Here we go. Here we go. There we go. All right. All right. This thing ain't light. I can tell you that for dang sure, folks. Say goodnight, Gracie. All right. There we go. All right. We'll adjust the brakes later, okay? First, I'm gonna get the, oh yeah, that's what I want there, okay? Now, I'm gonna get this one. Oh, what else if I put the bearings in, folks? That would have been a kick in the shin right there. Oh yeah. Alright, sounds good. Alright. Towel. We still good? Alright. Alright, now we're gonna get this bad boy on. Remember, this wasn't even finger tight. It was too loose. And of course, who knows? Who knows why? There, you know, could have happened when it was put on. Could have been a lot of things. Okay. Still some play in there, right? Plays even less. So let's get this socket. 2 9/16. Easy to put this on. See what you're doing. There we go. Most things I read was torque it down to 50 foot-pounds. This is set at 100, by the way. Ain't no play there. But now, then you want to back it off. Still no play. And there's zero play there. I'm comfortable with that right there. And there is zero play in there. All right, we'll leave that at that. Now, this there's a slot in the shaft here. There's a little slot in this ring. It's pretty self-explanatory. So that goes over that one. Now, this is the one that gets torqued down. We'll put 100 foot-pounds on it. This is basically a retaining nut. The inside one is the spindle nut, if you will, and this one is nothing more than holding it in place. And I've got this set at 100 foot-pounds. Let me get resituated here. Let's see what we get. And it should not impact the one behind it. I hope that's not moving in the back, and it shouldn't be. I can see where I'm working it. Come on, baby. You know what? It is moving the one behind it. So, let me take this back off. Yet another quandary. I do not want it. How in the world can that be spinning if that lock nut is in its slot? Maybe it's not spinning, but I want to make dang sure. Well, don't that beat all? That thing is just buggered now. Let's get that out and take a look at it. Oh, it's not too bad. But still not good. See, now that's backed off. That ain't good, folks. There we go. Woo! Let y'all see this. So this is supposed to go in the slot, and it just torqued all that. It grabbed it and torqued it and twisted it. So gonna have to do a little research on that, find out what I'm doing wrong. Obviously I'm doing something wrong. Maybe that's why it wasn't as tight in there as I thought. See if I can get this beat back into shape, because I don't have any more of those. All right, we'll be back. Okay, so I did a little more research. Well, first of all, I got this beat back into shape. I'm gonna have to order some of these. This will work for now. So just to make sure everybody understands how this works, when your front bearing is here, your hub's on, this is all the way tightened down. This keeper, which probably could stand to be a little tighter. Let's see. Looks like some of those were bent out a little bit. Okay, then this one is supposed to tighten down. Probably had too much torque on it. I put it at 100. Went and did a little more research. Some people are using 50. So let's see if that moves. I got this on 50. Oh, that's the wrong way. The goal is for the back one not to move. We're just experimenting here, folks. If I can get 50 foot, no, see the whole thing's turning. The whole thing is turning. Oh, it slipped, it's doggone. The whole thing's turning, folks. All right, so that wasn't even close to 50 foot-pounds. I think I boogered this up to the point that it's not going to work now. Actually, did that. Let's see if that moved. Let's see if that moved. Sorry, y'all having to deal with this, but I got to deal with it too. It's part of learning. Never touched one of these rear ends before this truck. All right, now, where's my tab? My slot's right here. So, yeah, the whole thing's moving. Because that's right there. So that means that's not doing its job. All right. Yep, that's moved out of the slot. So this thing's just boogered. That's all there is to it. I might be able to, I need to see if I can work on that a little more. So you see this, you can't really see the slot here in the shaft. This little slot right here is supposed to go, you see how it's still kind of oval? I can't get that any rounder. I may work on that a little bit. We'll be back. Alrighty, little MacGyvering. I was able to get that torque down, just to show you here, to 50 foot-pounds. So, and the tab is still where it's supposed to be. So, we're going to start over. I'm going to order some of these keepers though. And that is still where it's supposed to be. Get a little metal work in there and got that slot right there to the best of my ability. So, all right, let's try it again. I'm digging these body tools my wife got me for Father's Day. Thank you, darling. Even though I'm not your father, I'm your daddy, but I'm not your father. She won't hear that because she don't watch my videos. Well, we'll see. We'll find out. All right. Woo! Nothing like doing it like 2 or 3 times, folks. All right. Oh, might help if I take that off. Come on now. I'm all dirty. Got church in the morning. Done my Bible lesson already. In the book of, oh, what book are we in? We're in Exodus. That, something don't look right there, folks. Oh, that's why. Okay, that's the bearing. All right, here we go. I'm gonna smash my fingers. And then we'll be all kind of happy. Alright, there we go. Now, we'll put these bearings in. Then, we're gonna put this one in. I'm gonna try, you know, everybody I see on these, they're doing 50 and then do hand tight, 50, back it off, 90 degrees, yada, yada, yada. So we'll do 50 and back it off 90 and see what we got. Well, maybe it wasn't as tight as I thought it was. Come on, man. What in the world? Oh, there we go. There we go. You're supposed to spin the hub while you're doing this. I'm sure there's some mathematics to it. There's 50. Now if I back it off 90 degrees, I don't know if I can go 90 degrees. So 90 degrees would be about right here. Holy cow. Okay. Spins nice. 0 play. I'm going with that, folks. All right, here's my keeper. There's my keeper. Oh, I gotta bend those over a little bit. Bend them over a little bit. Also, on these keepers, let me find my needle nose, folks. These tabs, some are already broke off. I'm sure after you bend them X amount of times that, well, shoot. There's only one of them. Let's see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need to bend one of these back the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One of these doesn't need to be there. We'll do this one right here. Pardon my, you know what? As soon as I bend that over, it's gonna snap right off. I can almost guarantee that. Can almost guarantee that. Unless I bend it in a different place, which might be the solution. These got to be bent over a little bit so that they fit in the hole in the first place. Well, I done bent it the wrong way on the other one. Now I'm really gonna break it. Break it. I'll get somebody, I'll see if I can find these local. Might be able to find them at O'Reilly's or something. There we go. Yeah, it's getting there. These tabs bent over a little bit. There we go. All right, that's in there good. Now, let's see if we can get our 50 foot-pounds. We're still good. Oh yeah. Get resituated here. See if we can get our 50 foot-pounds without that moving. Come on now. Nope, that whole thing's moving. I just saw it. Doggone it. All right, folks, we let me get that back off. You know, I just sat here and did it. Now it's not wanting to do it. Let's see what happened. Yep. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I want to get this not done. I'm just gonna leave this hand tight. We're not gonna be driving it. I'll get some of these ordered. We'll come back. So I can work on the other side. Okay. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll get these ordered and then we'll circle back. And I will circle back on this from a safety perspective. I'm gonna leave that right like that. All right, so now, which means I'm gonna go ahead and put the axle back in. Yep, I'm gonna go ahead and put the axle back in right now. Now, what I felt like I had to do when I did this before was get that axle up a little bit, is what I felt before. That's exactly what I felt. Now, I'm off a couple splines, still off. There we go, now we're on. All right, these don't look too bad. These, is that lined up? No, it's still off a spline. Still off one spline. You just gotta have to keep working it till you find the sweet spot. That ain't the sweet spot. No, it's still off. All right, I'm just gonna keep working it around until I should have marked it. Boy, it's like it's off. Oh, duh. I'm a rocket scientist. I'm a rocket scientist. Don't forget that, ever. The hub turns. I'm thinking like a distributor, you know. All right, come on. All right. So, we're gonna get these put in because I want to get the brakes done tonight. I want to get these brakes pumped up. But you know what? I'm gonna have to pull, you know what? I don't have to pull that drum. And I can go ahead and adjust these brakes. Because all I'm gonna do is take the axle back out. I'm gonna take off, I'm not taking the bearings out, I'm just taking off the nut, the retainer, and then I'll reset the inside nut. So I'm not going to torque these down. I'm just going to not hand tighten them, but get them pretty tight. These are torqued to 50 foot-pounds. And I'm just gonna get them on there. And I want to clean these studs up. I'm gonna get the wheels back on here so I can get the other side up. I don't know if I'm gonna get all this done tonight or not, but we're gonna give it a whirl. I can tell you that. All right. I don't think y'all need to sit here and watch me tighten this up, put the lug nuts on. Oh, we need to do that brake line in the back. Let's do that real quick. Okay, that'll keep that axle, at least for a very second. I'll come back and tighten these up. We need to do that brake line, so let me get that set up and we'll be right back. Okay, as I'm getting this ready, I want to show you something here. So this goes through here, and that bolts into the rear housing. This is supposed to be a vent, and then your hose for your driver's side, and then your driver's side and passenger side. Your brake lines just go right into that. But you can't even see through that, folks. There's a little bit now, but I'm going to tell you this one. I done stuck it in my mouth once and tried to blow. I ain't doing it twice. That's boogered up too. So I got to get all this cleaned up, and then we will. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and get that little bit of brake line put in there. I'm going to get it hooked up to the wheel cylinder because we're not bleeding anything right now. And then I'll show you what I got when I get done. Well, here you go. You can see that I've got the wheel cylinder line connected over to this banjo connector here. I went ahead and hooked up the other side back up. It's not hooked up over at the wheel cylinder. I've got the brake line up here, and this is the vent. I'm going to do something a little creative with a wire tie here so that is pointed down, so that it would take a lot for something to get in there. I won't be in any water that deep. I may tie it up. I just want it to point down. That's the key. I want, if something gets in there, it's going to take quite a bit. If I do it like this, you know, then rain or something like that can get in there. All right, folks, we're going to call it for the night. These spindle nut retainers, I found one on Amazon. I found one at another Ford specialty place. They're $7 or $8 a piece. So it's got to be done. I'm going to go ahead and get this back together, get the tires on. Get the jack off, get the jack out from underneath the truck, and then tomorrow my plan is to rebuild those. I've still got to put the brake line, because I was waiting on those crush washers on the other side on the front. I'll do that. Still working on all this stuff. Rebuilt the car, put that video out a couple nights ago. And master cylinder, got it right here. I'm going to bench bleed it. We'll get the master cylinder in. Of course, the connect, you can't see this real well, but you got a real big connector and a real small connector. And there's a splicer in here. Looks like somebody's done an adaptation to that. So we'll have to do a little adaptation. So I'm glad I got all these extra parts that I ordered with this kit here. So alrighty, folks, wrap it up for tonight, and I'll see you tomorrow. It'll be a few seconds for you.